Welcome to the Sims Garden Club
with EngramPixels
and the Girl with the Woohoo Tattoo.
We are so happy that you have decided to join our podcast talking about all things Sims.
Hey Engram, how are you today?
I'm great. It's a sunny Saturday morning and I'm having a great time so far. How's your day been?
Yeah, it's actually really beautiful here as well. I'm in Adelaide and the sun has been shining all day. It's beautiful.
I'm in Sydney and it's slightly overcast, but you know that weather from The Sims 2? You know, like that everyone liked?
Oh, yeah.
Partly cloudy.
Partly cloudy. Awesome.
Yeah, that was everyone's favourite, wasn't it?
So we've decided to bring you a new Sims podcast. This is the Sims Garden Club, where we're going to talk about all things to do with the Sims. And we've got a few things to chat about with you today. In fact, we've got our harvest and we've got future crops, as well as time to have a cuppa. So do you want to get into it, Engram?
Before we get into it, let's have a cup up.
Awesome. So what are we talking about this week? The Sims Guru Garage?
It was on just last Saturday and it was presented by SimGuru Romeo, SimGuru Rad, SimGuru Emery, and SimGuru Kate was in the background with her now increasingly familiar Bob Pancakes robe.
I know, I love that she's taking the role of Bob Pancakes for the Sims Guru Garage as well. That is a mouthful, isn't it?
It is, it's a bit of a mouthful.
It was so funny just to watch them play the game, and I love that they're sort of incorporating other people's save files as well. So what were they doing? They were being criminals in this one. They'd started a club and their family were actually deciding to start their own business of crime.
Yeah, I think they started out with something quite different. They were doing clubs and they started out with the Mean Girls and somehow it's turned into this life of crime.
Yeah, I don't know. See, I didn't really watch all of the first one. I sort of had it on in the background and then I watched all of this one and was just like, what are they talking about now? How did they get from here to there? You know, it's just a really interesting subject.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I felt. I'd watched the beginning of the previous one and I don't know, I think life just happened and I couldn't watch the rest of it. And then this last weekend, I'm watching it and thinking, oh, hang on, what happened to the Mean Girls?
Yeah, it's like they dropped little Simsy altogether and turned her into little Thugsy, which was one of the characters of the actual Sims as well. But they grew the kids up and now they're creating a business, which I really thought was cool because I haven't really done the business or retail stores in Get to Work. Have you done much of that?
No, I haven't. I've keep meaning to actually run a restaurant or a retail store.
Oh,
and
I love the restaurants. The restaurants are so much fun, but I think because I've worked in retail, I had no appeal. Like I did not want to do retail at all.
Yeah, well, something new that I learned during that last Guru Garage is that restaurants and retail stores apparently have this invisible curb appeal score, which is based on decorative items that you put on the lot. So any of the retail neon signs and shop signs, including the ones from the, I keep calling it pets, but the cats and dogs expansion pack, where all the vet signs and all of that, all of those actually contribute to the curb appeal of the retail store or of your vet clinic, and which draws in more customers.
See, I had no idea about that either. So I guess that probably goes with, remember back in The Sims 1 how there was the environment score? I guess it must be something to do with that, right? Like if the room score is higher, then more people come. So like if there's like an invisible room score. I wish they'd bring that back.
Yes.
That was really cool.
Yes, definitely. And you definitely saw that happening when they were doing some of their heists and they wanted to actually score the high appeal statue and all the Sims were gathering around that high appeal statue.
Yes.
So these objects within the game, obviously, I can't right now remember what it was called, but they're basically calling Sims.
Yeah, that's so cool.
There's a technical term for it, and I'm sure that I will remember it after we've talked. But
that's all right.
there's actually an appeal score kind of thing that, you know, for each of these objects.
That's so cool. I love that. And I love how they just kept going into and like trying to pinch the big pocket stuff. Like the piano. There was one stage where Romeo was trying to steal the piano and they were all like, you can't put that in your pockets. And he's like, yeah, but it's The Sims. And yeah, he did. He did steal that, which was hilarious.
Yeah, getting a piano into your pockets, I don't know.
Yeah. There was one point that I really liked in the Guru Garage. It's really cool to actually hear the sim gurus play the game and chat about it as if that they were like real players. Like, do you know what I mean? I mean, obviously they're real players, but you know, just the fact that Sim Guru Romeo said that one thing that he wished he could do would change the lights, that you didn't actually have to go into live mode to do it, because yeah, that is a thing that I've actually found in building, is that you can't change the lighting. And if you wanted to do like a purple, well, woohoo tattoo, of course. If you wanted to do a purple room, you couldn't do it without actually having to move a sim in and actually edit it that way. So that's really exciting.
Yeah, that was actually a really good idea that he said. So I think he mentioned that holding down the Alt key and then pressing another key might actually cycle through the colors.
That would be amazing if they did that.
That would absolutely be amazing. And another thing that he mentioned was actually doing auto placement of lights per room, like we can actually do with windows, which I keep forgetting about that function, that you can actually do auto windows. So you don't have to place each window individually. You can actually, there's a toggle where you can actually get a room full of windows. Yeah,
I actually did not know this. I am learning something today. What? Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that. I feel like that's a Sims supply fault. He should be telling me these things. Quick, make a tutorial and get 1 million followers, quick.
Yeah, I think absolutely we have to do that.
Oh, that's
Another thing that he did mention was that he'd like to make the door locking function to be available in build mode. So that we can actually create fully functioning restaurants and retail stores, rather than the player who then downloads them having to remember to lock the doors. It's just kind of like the download and play. So much easier.
It would be so good. I mean, that's one thing. I mean, the other thing that I liked when I go onto the gallery and I find houses that I want to put into my Sims, the ones that actually appeal to me are the ones that look like they've been lived in. And I downloaded one once and it had so much art on the walls. It actually looked like there had been 4 generations that lived in this house. And I don't do that. But it was so cute because all the kids had their photos on the walls. And I really wish that there was a photography skill better than what we've got. Do you remember back in The Sims 3, how we actually had collections and you had to go out and take photos of things? I want that again. Yes. That was so much fun. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to just...
amazing.
I'm going to trail off and just say something completely off topic here and just say there was someone on Twitter the other day who posted, I can't remember who it was, maybe it was Nando, and it was something to do with, remember how Sims used to have favorites? And we used to have favorite food, favorite color, and these things weren't specifically traits, but they gave our Sims so much more personality. I think he's looking at developing a mod for that, but I would love to see that in The Sims 4, because I feel like with The Sims 4 compared to Sims 3, a lot of our Sims are they're very stock standard. You know, they have their personality and they have their emotions, which is what The Sims 4 was really meant to be. But, you know, we're missing those main things. Everybody has a favorite, you know, and I really personally like the heavy sleeper and the light sleeper. They were my favorite because everybody has their own preference when it comes to sleeping. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, side note, completely off topic, but I just really like that idea.
Well, continuing with that idea, actually, did you realize that in seasons, if your Sim declares a weather preference, they actually do get an emotional buff when that weather is happening?
Yes, I did notice that actually, because it's something to do with, you know, because you've declared it and then they get happy when it's hot. Isn't that what it is or something? I think that's so cute. I wonder how many more secret things they want to add in.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering, now that you mentioned it, maybe that is something that they are working on. Maybe this was their kind of first experiment and first foray into that sort of thing, where declaring a weather preference now actually... that might lead into something like declaring, you know, having, I guess,
favorite food,
because Sims used to have
movie types, favorite music
TV channel, favorite music, that sort of thing.
So
maybe
cool.
This is kind of like intro to favorites.
Yes. Oh my gosh. This week's harvest, we've got The Sims 5. People went ape for The Sims 5. Why is that? Do you know why? Yeah, I don't know. As far as I'm aware, I have not heard anything at all about The Sims 5, and people are just pulling these ideas out. So
I think it has something to do with some of the new jobs that were advertised at Maxis. Do you remember what those were?
Yeah, so they actually advertised new positions at Maxis in Redwood Shores and San Fran. The job position actually was Maxis Character Modeler 3D for new game in best-selling Sims franchise, and they were focusing on fashion creation and 3D modeling. Now, I don't know what this has to do with, you know, it does say like, you know, a future of best-selling Sims franchise. That doesn't specifically mean it's going to be The Sims 5.
I know. I suspect that people just kind of like picked it up and ran with it.
Oh.
It could just mean somebody to work on a future expansion pack.
Exactly. It could be like, I mean, when they say fashion creating, that means literally like create a sim, you know? They'll just be doing skins and they'll be doing that kind of thing. Like, I just don't, like, it confused me. I was like, where did this come from? And I can understand that people would get excited about this, but it doesn't have any... I don't want The Sims 5. I don't want it.
I don't want The Sims 5 right now either. In fact, SimGuru Grant, didn't he say that there's at least another 3 years?
He did. He said there's 3 years. I mean, let's think about this. Wait, The Sims 1 lasted for what? I think it was about
4 years?
4 or 5 years. And then Sims 2, I think, lasted the longest because I was in high school when that came out and I started working in games. So it must be another 5 years as well. And then that came out in, 2009. And then in 2014, that's another 5 years on, we got The Sims 4. So Sims 4's only been out for, what, 3 years? Or is it 4 years? No, it is 4 years. Oh, my God. Well, okay, maybe we are getting to the end of the tether.
Well, no, they're saying that there's at least another 3 years in it.
But you know what?
Which in a way would make sense given how many expansion packs they tend to put out within each part of the franchise, within each iteration. Not
only that, but I'm a big feeler of if it's not broke, don't... You know what I mean? If it's not broke, don't fix it. It's doing a really good job. And the fact that they've got a medium now where they can actually update and, you know, keep it going. Like, who knows? It might be like Sims 4.2, you know, and we might get the Sims 4, but then like extra stuff. So it's not even, here we go, EA, here's another way we can do it. How about instead of making a new Sims game, we just make people buy another Sims game and add it to the existing Sims game. Then you can make twice as much money. See, look at that. This is why Sims should hire me.
Solving all the world's financial problems one Sims game at a time.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, in saying that as well, there was also an advertisement in Australia for expressions of interest in communications manager in Australia, which is so exciting for me. Engram, do you know why it's so exciting for me?
Why is it so exciting for you?
Because this is my dream job. But I mean, since we did lose our favorite sim guru Liz, she did leave about what, 8 months ago, was it? Or 6 months ago?
I think it was at the start of this year. Yes.
Yeah, and she left to work for another company, and we wish her all the best and we love her. And yeah, but since then we haven't had an Australian Sims community manager or EA representation that we can actually go to for Australian Simmers, and that proves it really hard for us here in Australia. But
yeah, it has been difficult. When I have questions about anything, it's kind of like, who do we go to? And it actually was really nice having somebody here who was local, who was available,
and who had the contacts
for us.
That's the thing,
you know, and who had the contacts over the other side of the pond as well.
That was the hardest part as well, because then they brought in the EA Game Changers, and now we've got this beautiful EA Game Changers network, which is awesome. But as an Australian, getting the information 6 hours later, when all the stuff is being announced at 3 a.m, we don't get it until 5 hours later when we're awake at, say, 7 or 8 a.m. in the morning, and everybody's already done all their stuff. So that's why it was really nice to have that point of contact in Australia. So that's one of the most amazing things to have come. So really, I hope EA finds someone amazing for that position too. So, but in saying that, if you guys ever want any help in Australia, we do have the Facebook community, which is just Aussie Simmers. So go search for Facebook groups, Aussie Simmers, and that's actually ran by yours truly, both myself and Engram. We put that one together so that you can have some communication in our little bubble of the world.
So, what else is cropping up?
cropping up. Oh, we're hilarious. Okay, so we've had...
Oh, keep those gardening puns coming.
Gardening puns. If you guys have any gardening puns that we should use, please let us know so we can add them into our next podcast. All right, so what cropped up this week, Engram? We had a new game patch for the Xbox One, which has hopefully now fixed some lighting and shadow issues that was created by the glass roofs. And thank God they fixed that, because the glass roofs are amazing.
I know. How good are they? Fantastic.
Best update ever. I mean, aside from pools was free, but glass roofs, guys.
Yeah, glass roofs, amazing. Also, Get Together is available on consoles now.
Yes, Get Together. Did you like that expansion pack? Honestly,
I was a bit lukewarm about it, but now that I've actually watched that Guru Garage and the functionality of the clubs, I'm seeing just how powerful of a feature the in-game clubs are. So I think I want to give it a bit more of a go.
I'm thinking I might put a review together for the console and actually do a review for it, because I think before I started doing reviews, I never really looked so deep into these games, and everything before Dine Out, I don't really understand a lot about it. So I think I might actually go and actually put my life into this one and actually try and get a Get Together review put together, if you know what I mean.
Oh, that sounds really good. I'll make sure to check it out.
Yay, awesome. And then we've got the Guru Garage. When's that happening?
That's on the 28th of September, which will be the 29th for us here in Australia at 3 or 4 a.m.
Saturday morning.
Yeah, we'll be probably watching that on VOD replay.
We always watch the Sim Guru Garage, usually the next morning, because it happens at like 3 in the morning. So unless you're having some serious insomnia, there's no way that we'd stay up that late. And it's really sad. Did you find that like throughout the whole thing, you just couldn't chat and you felt like really awkward being like, I want to be included.
I know, I really wanted to. And I know that with the VODs, there is that function of insert comment here at this timestamp.
Oh, I know, but it's dumb.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
Awesome. And then there's Maxis Monthly. Now, can you explain what that is? Because I don't know what that is.
So Maxis Monthly is where the team will be doing a bit of a wrap-up of what's been released or what's been talked about over the previous month or so. Yeah. So they're supposed to be monthly, as it says in the name. And they're also going to be teasing some new content.
Awesome.
So it will be just half an hour. It's not a long stream or anything like that.
Ooh, I like that they're doing that.
On the 2nd of October, and they're going to cover information or new upcoming releases for PC and Mac.
That's
and
right.
Also for the Sims Mobile, and they said maybe they'll say something about content for the console.
Okay, well that's cool. I mean, the one thing that Sim Guru Kate did say is that there's not going to be a new update this month, but they're going to be giving us an update for October. So perhaps they are giving us a new update for October. I mean, like, let's just dream a little bit here. And how cool would it be if they gave us more fall options, like more autumn stuff? Like, because obviously we're not in autumn, but we have to think about the Northern Hemisphere because they're important or something. I'm like ready to start carving pumpkins out of cherry blossoms or something. I'm going to try somehow to make it Australian themed. But maybe they're going to give us like apple bobbing or, you know, something like that. Remember they used to do that? Was that in The Sims 2? They did apple bobbing? But
that was Sims 3. That was during like a harvest festival type thing. I keep thinking of the Sims 4 names, but there was actually an autumn or a fall festival.
The little festivals that they had, yeah.
Yeah, so they had the pie eating and the apple bobbing.
Well, you know what? That's one thing that I want in The Sims is more recipes and stuff, because we've got all these new harvestables, but there's nothing to do with them. Like, I want Avo on toast, guys. When is this update coming?
I know, make our millennial dreams come true. Let's have some Avo.
I can't afford a house in real life, so please let me not afford a house in The Sims and give me Avo on toast. But then there's also the honey, like they gave us the honey and, you know, then we had the honey cake. But I feel like there's bananas and there's all these different things that we could be adding into the game. I need more food in my Sims games so that when I'm doing my not-so-berry, I can be like, I want this.
Well, yeah, well, maybe we can have a plantain bread as opposed to banana bread, and that can be that. Or there is that wonderful German cake, the bee sting.
Yum! Oh my god, bee stings are so yummy.
They are so good. Every time I come to Adelaide, I make my husband take me over to Harndorf. And we go to the bakery, and I have to have bee sting.
Yeah, that's it. Oh my god, bee sting is so good. And that's the kind of thing that like is, to me, Harndorf reminds me of autumn. So when I think of like what they could be doing for the next update, maybe there could be some more recipes and stuff like that. I don't know, maybe we're dreaming, but you know what? Maybe Sim Guru Kate will listen to this. Who knows?
Oh, I hope so. You know what else is happening on the 2nd of October?
What?
Speaking of October, spooky stuff will be available for consoles.
Is that coming out on the 2nd? I was just about to say.
Yeah, that's coming out on the 2nd.
Awesome. Well, do you know what I'm going to be doing on the 2nd of October?
What?
Not playing Sims spooky stuff on console, that's for sure. But I am going to be Twitch streaming on the front page of Twitch.
Oh, so fantastic.
Don't forget, while you're checking out the Maxis Monthly, to come over and check out both my stream, The Girl with the Woohoo Tattoo, and EngramPixels on Wednesday nights. And is it Fridays you stream as well?
Thursday and Friday mornings.
Thursday and Friday mornings, yes. So come and check us out, because we love talking with you guys. So yeah, do we have anything else? I don't think we have anything else to talk about today, except for just rambling on about future consoles. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. We really appreciate it. Listening to our first ever podcast. If you have any feedback, let us know, because this is new to us and we're trying to try something different. But I had fun. Did you have fun, Engram?
I had a lot of fun. This has been fantastic.
Yay! I can't wait to put it up and hear what you guys have to say. We'll catch you next time, and have fun in the garden. Bye!
Bye! Happy simming.